kind of stand off in the corner, right? He looks at me and he's like, where do you stand? And keep in mind, I'm a kid. I'm like 15, 14, 15, 16, some shit like that. So I don't know prison lingo. I'm like, where do I stand? Like, what you mean? Like, what? Like, where I'm from? Where I been? He was like, I was like, oh, I'm not from a hood. And I knew what not to say, right? Call me what you want, but, you know, gotta keep yourself alive. But, and I really wasn't from a hood. I would be with certain people, right? And then he goes, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 16. I want to say I was 16. I want to say I was 16. I was like, I'm 16. And then he goes, and then looks at Lewis, the dude I mentioned earlier. He goes, how old are you? And that dude Lewis goes, 19. Wrong answer. Immediately just gets kneed right in the face. I'm like, fuck, right? I'm very protective in nature. You could ask all my friends growing up. I fought for a lot of my friends. You know, I started boxing real early, but I was always a fighter even before I started boxing in elementary school. I was just, nose itches. But I was just about that. Ever since I was a little kid, I just really was like that. So I want to leave because I don't fuck with that dude who's getting beat up, but I'm still like, I know like the right thing to do would be to help him, right? But anyways, I get my angle, like I said, I'm stuck in the bedroom. I'm like trying to figure out how to get out of the bedroom. But obviously, bedroom's one way in, one way out. And now I get behind him, pause, and I'm kind of watching the fight and shit like that. He's just bombing on him and shit like that. But all of a sudden, he reaches in his back pocket, strap, but he didn't grab that. He grabbed something from his back pocket. And all of a sudden, he had a box cutter just started slicing his face up. And the dude's holding his hand like this. He's just like slicing his face up, right? Because he's trying to slice his throat. But Lewis was a little bigger, so he's holding him. And the dude's tweaked out. He was a Sureño who had just got out from aggravated assault. He's been out for like 2 or 3 months. So he's like stabbing him and slicing his face. And the dude, I keep running out of the room, running back in because I don't really want to leave the guy, but he's not my friend. Like, I don't even know him, right? He looks at me, and I'll never forget it. He's looking at me holding the dude's hands. He's like, help me, help me. And I'm like, what the fuck you want me to do? Like, what the fuck you want me to do about it? Like, jump in front of the blade? So, for context, like a week before, somebody passed me the blunt. I went to grab the blunt. He's like, no, you got 5 on it? I was like trying to be all tough guy shit. And really, he was a drop-down norteño anyway, so he was furthest thing from it. But because I was a white boy in the hood, I always got treated a little differently until people got to know me or until I got that respect violently from them. But anyways, I was genuinely like, what do you want me to do about it? Some dude came in, he was my town's so fucked up, white people gangbang, right? So a white Crip came in and was trying to stop me. He's like, what time it is, whoop-de-whoop. And then, anyway, slicing, and then all of a sudden he turns around and looks at his brother-in-law and swings at him. And when he did that, I was like, go. I actually got the dude who's getting stabbed out of the room, right? And we got down the steps, out the hallway, right? And then, for whatever reason, though, we're young, we just take off running. Not knowing what's, like, about to happen to this guy. So we take off running, and we end up stopping, because he's like, I'm about to pass out. And we end up stopping or whatever because he's running. So he just was basically making himself bleed to get, his arm was split from like, it was like 2 pieces. He got sliced in, it was just meat. Ugh. And anyways, I go in the donut shop on Main Street. I'm like, call the cops, call 911. And I learned a lesson right here too. So right as she hung up already too, and I tell them, Lewis, don't say nothing. Like, reminding him not to snitch. Well, I know he just got stabbed, but what it is, right? Don't snitch. And call me what you want, but I got stabbed. I didn't participate. I didn't go to court, nothing. He actually got a lesser charge because I didn't participate. I don't care what they need me for, but that's not my cup of tea. I know I look the way I look, but I was raised by who I was raised by. Like, it's not my job to do the police job. But as soon as the cops pull up, they grab my hat off my head, throw it on the floor, and they're like, don't tell, hon. Don't tell. Don't snitch. Don't tell. And my mind was blown because that means even when the phone hung up, they were still able to hear the conversations, right? Which was crazy to me. And I had blood all over me, but it wasn't my blood at all. And so whatever reason, when I said I was 16, that guy never looked at me again. Like, which I'm thankful for. Then I'm just like, fuck. So I'm walking down the street, down 16th Street, and I got blood. I'm in a white tank top. I got blood all over me. And all of a sudden I see my homie, the Crip, and the Mexican Crip I mentioned earlier. I don't want to say his name, really. Anyways, I see him right outside Walgreens. He's like, what the fuck happened? He gave me a big ass hug because I was like my big homie. Obviously, I'm not a Crip, but I had a lot of love for him. He had a lot of love for me. He even lived with me at one point. Lived with us, my mom and shit. He really like gave me like really taught me a lot about this street shit and about the lack of loyalty and like got a lot of love for him. So now we're on some movie shit. We're walking through the aisles of Walgreens like whispering like what happened because the dude came to kill him. And he was like 5'11", 250. He's a big dude, but he's also a Golden Glove boxer. So the little Sereno dude definitely wasn't gonna fight him. And then all of a sudden I see my older brother go by on a motorcycle. Keep in mind, Phil, said his name. Keep in mind, Phil and my brother had just gotten a fight previously over some bullshit, which we found out how good Phil could fight that day. And then we're trying to figure this all out, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, keep in mind, the street I'm on is like, it's like the street that leads you to the freeways. All of a sudden, I see my mom, my uncle, my little brother drive by. And I'm like, what the fuck? And my mom is just crying. Hell,